That being said, I'll do my best. There's a couple things I want to let you know about myself first. That is, my name is Sultan, as you mentioned. You're probably wondering sort of maybe my background, and I'll give it to you kind of quick and dirty. I worked in consulting for about 7 years for a company that many of you may or not heard of called Sultan Hamilton. It's an international management consulting and technology firm. And after I left Sultan Hamilton, I went over to KPMG as their advisory services, where I'm currently residing in DC now. Part of what I'm telling you this is to kind of give you an idea. I know this is going to sound strange to a lot of you, but when I got my first job, I'd say in college actually, back in I'd say 1996, I actually didn't apply for that job, my first real job. My second real job, I worked at a television station. It was called KPBS TVFM, Public Broadcasting. I got a job there based on referrals. I never applied, I actually was just interviewed for it. My following job after that one was with San Diego State University and their foundation. And again, that job I actually didn't apply for. I was actually just called up and interviewed. My job at Sultan Hamilton, same thing, and KPMG was the same thing. It's kind of unusual because part of it has been based on networking. I found that, as you probably will talk about today, most of my job opportunities have come from word of mouth. Somebody knew of an opportunity and they thought to themselves, hey, I wonder if Alexander's available. And then they come talk to me and I'd say, yeah, it sounds interesting, let's chat about it, and then a job would actually manifest itself in that. So that's where I come from a personal experience. I tried the job interview route and had some mixed successes with it, but I will tell you the one thing where I had the most success was whenever I applied for a job where I had a referral or somebody actually recommended me. So I kind of want to talk about sort of networking from a couple different attitude viewpoints, because let's be honest, I'll be honest with you, networking kind of sucks, right? I mean, it's one of those kind of, you have to do it. I remember in college they used to always tell us, job searching was kind of a bummer because everyone here, not very many of us like sales. Some of you love sales. I'm not a passionate salesperson. I don't enjoy sales. But yet, unfortunately, when you go out there, you're actually selling yourself in a job interview, and when you're actually trying to get new business for your company, you're selling yourself. So you kind of have to get comfortable with, I guess you could say, prostituting yourself, if you will, for future employment. One thing I do want to share with you real quickly is one of the things in my history is I used to teach at San Diego State University. And so one of the things I used to tell my students at San Diego State, and I'll tell you this right now, is there's two things there it goes. There's two things unique about me that you should be aware of. One is I like talk really fast. So for those of you out there, I apologize. I'm a fast talker. I'm from the West Coast, now living in the East Coast, but that's one of my traits. And if I at any time don't make any sense and it just sounds like bleh, just raise your hand and let me know and I'll try to slow down. The second thing I tell my students too is I also have a tendency sometimes to liven up my speeches with expletives. For those of you not familiar with an expletive, it's basically using curse words for a point. So I apologize in advance if I say anything that might offend you. I will do my best to keep it PG-13, but sometimes I might say something that might, unfortunately come out and I'll say that's crap or something. A little bit more stronger than that. Just want to forewarn you in advance so that no one's going shocked, right? So let me ask you this real quickly. As far as attitudes on networking fall, there's a couple of different ones I've identified. Some people have the philosophy of it's a dog-eat-dog world. I'm out for everything I can get and deserve. Does anyone fall into that category? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm out for everything I can get and deserve. So raise your hand so I can identify you later. No? Okay. A few of you. Right, so that I call the egocentric or the religion of me. And that's okay, it's not a bad thing, but it is focused mostly on networking about you. The other one is the only way to get on is if we stick together, all for one and for one for all. This is what I call the purposeful or the musketeer approach. It's a kind of collective group. The other one is the world's my oyster. It's not what I know, it's who I know. And that is your multiplicity kind of person or your social butterfly. And I'm sure there's a couple of you in this room who are social butterflies who kind of fall into that one. The other one is how we should all live and work together. I call this the communitarians, the co-ops. Those are the ones who believe that, in the holistic greater good of the world, we all have to get together and get on. It's how I'm connected to the world is another way of looking at networking. That's what I call more the integrative. And then the last one is we're all part of the greater whole, which is the holistic and experiential. But let me ask you this, and I think we already know the answer. Why is networking so important? Does anyone want to show? Oh, by the way, I did warn you, it's interactive, and I call on people if you don't. It's like I'm back in class again. I feel like I'm back. You're all my students. No, I'm kidding. Does anyone want to share why networking is important? Right. Yes. Breaks down barriers. Excellent. We'll be talking about that today. Anything else? Exposes opportunities. We'll talk about that today too. Helps you find a job. Yeah, well, most people, I have to be honest, most reason people network is when they need to find a job. But one of the things I'm going to caveat today, and I want to make it very clear, is that when you're building these networks, you don't want to do this when you absolutely need it this very moment. It's kind of a shocker, right? You should be building networks way before you ever need them. Now, we're going to talk about how to jumpstart your network a little bit today, but I want to make sure it's very clear that if you are not networking right now for whatever your reason is, whether it's to get a job, whether it's to find a new home, to find a professional that's in an industry that you need assistance with, you want to start now. You don't want to wait till the 11th hour when you really need a network. And the reason why we'll talk a little bit later about is the immediacy of trying to get people to help you. It takes time to build that rapport. And we'll talk about how to build rapport in the long term. Now, most of you already know all the truths about networking. It's, I think some of the facts they have, is everyone familiar with wetfeet.com? It's more geared towards college students, but wetfeet.com says that about 40 to 50% of all vacancies are actually filed or done through staff referrals. And the other one is from Department of Labor, which says that 50 to 70% of jobs never are advertised. Those are actually relatively true statistics.